Yeah.
with your permission.
I just told them stories about one of our trees.
We'll call the July 12th meeting of the Macon County Board of Commissioners to order. I'd like to welcome all of y'all in attendance. Hopefully going to be a quick meeting tonight, and we'll get things rolling. Announcements, we have a joint meeting with the Macon County Board of Education scheduled for Tuesday, July 26th at 6 p.m. at the Fine Arts Center on the Franklin High School campus for the presentation of the Franklin High School facility assessment and discussion of the next steps. So again, Tuesday, July 26th at 6 p.m. So we will not adjourn our meeting. We will recess and reconvene at that location. Any further announcements? Nothing else. Let's all rise for observe a moment of silence, and we'll ask Commissioner Shields to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance following the moment of silence.
And Mr. Chairman, just to mention a couple of real county leaders that we lost in the past week is number one was Mr. Jerry Sutton, not only a former county commissioner, but of course Jerry was always interested in education. He was a 30-year member at Southwestern College and certainly a great leader in this county. And so our prayers are with Renee and Chuck and that whole family. Also Alvin Pickle Nicholson. If you didn't know Pick, if you ever volunteered for anything, you'd see Pick, because he'd be there. So that's two great people. Pick, of course, had a great, matter of fact, he is the one who started West Macon Fire Department. Jerry Sutton brought the first fire department this side of Haywood County to the far west. So two great leaders, Mr. Chairman, that we need to remember them and their families. And and the mark they left on Macon County won't be soon forgotten.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Bow our heads. Amen. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm going to call the public hearing to order in regards to exchange of real property with the North Carolina Department of Transportation. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
anybody signed it.
Oh, no one signed up to speak. Would anybody like to address the board? I'll give a little background on it. Nobody else. So recently, I guess within the past year, the county purchased out their portion of the Macon County Co-op property, which sits right behind, it's where the old jail is, sits right behind the Department of Transportation in Windy Gap area. Because of the Joint Department of Transportation, they're wanting that property. So they came to us with a deal for a piece of property that the county is interested in for expansion, and that's the old, I guess, is it a Gulf station? It's right, yeah, right at the town bridge. So we're looking at doing that. It looks like the value of the appraised value of the, what I'm reading here, of the Macon County property, which is the co-op property, is roughly $200,000. The property value of the old Gulf station there is estimated at $273,000. This is going to be a zero money exchange, so we're just swapping properties. Any comments? Any comments from the public on that? Commissioners, if not, I'm going to close the public hearing and we'll move forward. Anything, Mr. Manager? Any comments from you?
No, sir.
Attorney? Anybody else? All right. We'll close the public hearing. Commissioners, we'll accept a motion or discussion.
Make a motion to adopt a resolution approving the exchange of real property between the county and the North Carolina Department of Transportation.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Shields,
Second.
second by Commissioner Bill. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I'll say that this is, we purchased, if you remember, we purchased the co-op property for pennies on the dollar. And so we think this will serve both parties well. Hopefully that will be a new home in the future for the frogs. And of course, that building is Mainspring would like to have where the frogs is at. So hopefully that'll work out good, and it'll be a valuable piece of property going forward.
I kind of feel like I've been on a racetrack since first year I became a commissioner and started working on this project, and it's finally coming to fruition, so I'm happy to see it closed out before my race is finished. With that being said, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Aye. So I'll let the record show 4-1 vote, Commissioner Higdon opposing. All right, public comment. All right, Dylan Castle. It's like every time I touch them. Sorry. Fixing my audio.
Good evening. I'm here tonight representing the Smoky Mountain Young Republicans and the resolution that our executive board adopted, and that's what I've handed to you. It is entitled, "The Smoky Mountain Young Republicans issue a resolution in support of Macon County Commissioner Paul Higdon's opposition to increased funding for Fontana Regional Library." And it is stated as such: whereas an element of conservative philosophy of government funding is to not overburden the taxpayer, and whereas recent government-caused economic downturns have caused burdensome results to each citizen's personal finances, and whereas each citizen has been forced and is continually forced to make personal financial cutbacks and restraints, and whereas taxpayer-funded organizations and departments should not expect an increase while the taxpayer is experiencing historic losses, and whereas an element of conservative philosophy of government practice is to represent the citizenry in accordance to the Constitution of the United States and the moral law of Almighty God, and whereas the function of government is to protect the innocent from those who would do evil and cause harm, and whereas the current agenda of the LGBT community and Pride Month is designed to confuse and ensnare the most innocent of our community into a morally foundationless philosophy and lifestyle, and whereas the Constitution of the United States and of the state of North Carolina guarantee the right of freely exercising one's religion, including the guidance of one's religion to make decisions while serving as an elected representative, then therefore be it resolved that the Executive Board of the Smoky Mountain Young Republicans endorse and support Macon County Commissioner Paul Higdon's stance and comments in regards to opposing increased funding to the Fontana Regional Library with its current practice of displaying publicly in the children's section LGBT material. This evening we've been able to have two of our board members, our chair and our vice chair, to join us in support, as well as we have others that have come to show their support of this resolution, and I appreciate your time to be able to mention this during the public comment.
All right. Tim Shaw. Welcome back, Tim.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I'd like to give you an update on Skate 2H fundraising efforts for the past 30 days. As you may know, we had a musical fundraiser at Altered Frequencies, and it was a huge success. Not only was it a fun concert, but it raised a lot of money for the community's skate park project. In conjunction with the concert, we had a hot dog dinner sponsored by Hot Spot Convenience Stores and the Jordan family, Coca-Cola and others. Jen and James Staley worked tirelessly all day in the heat, feeding the hungry crowd, and we raised $845 just selling hot dogs. There were approximately 300 attendees at this event, raising approximately $5,000 in ticket sales and t-shirt sales. John Cisneros of Alex Screen Printing made all the concert shirts, and they were a big hit. The live fundraising auction raised approximately $3,400, and it was a lot of fun. We had 11 bands donate their time and musical expertise, and we had over 70 businesses and individuals and artists donate goods and services to the auction. We also had donation checks of approximately $4,000 just from local realtors. They, of all businesses, know the positive impact of a great new skate park has on incoming potential family home buyers. And especially a big, great new public park. Families want that, and families need that, and it's good for local business. All in all, we raised over $13,000 this past Saturday. It was a coordinated effort of many skaters, parents, grandparents, and some great local business owners, and the town and the county's support, and I appreciate that. We also have applied for a grant from the Dogwood Trust. We were talking this week with Mike Passant, and he will be discussing with the board about perhaps a matching grant. As you may have heard, we have lost the J.E. Dunn Construction Company deal. So we're now progressing with having an actual skate park construction company build the skate park. At the recent Franklin Town Hall meeting last week, the council members unanimously agreed to pursue hiring a reputable, well-qualified skate park construction company, as opposed to the standard of getting 3 estimates and having the low bidder come in and pour some concrete. Their exact words, I believe, were, "We want to build a great skate park for the community." If we do get a matching grant, the county has already promised $85,000. Our group, Skate 28, has raised approximately $34,000. The town has donated $12,500 worth of land and $15,000 for the engineering blueprint design, and has promised more. So that would be very close to our estimated cost of $260,000 to $280,000 projected cost. If any of you folks here have an in with the Dogwood Trust, we would appreciate a good word towards them supporting our skate park project. So thank you. That's all I have.
Thanks, Tim. Thank you.
Tim, go ahead, Paul.
What's your total number right now that you've got, Tim, liquid?
Well, we have $34,000 at the Region A Foundation. You guys have promised $35,000 and $50,000, and I guess you guys still have that. Mm-hmm. So all we have specifically is just the money we have raised for our nonprofit. The rest of it is government numbers.
And talking, Tim, with some of the others, we talked about bathrooms, of course. You gotta have bathrooms, you gotta have parking, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Most of had the town, are they gonna get a quote?
Amy Owens has received a grant for the approach road and the parking lot of $50,000, so that's good. I have a deal working, Derek gave me some blueprints, I could probably get the bathrooms built for next to nothing, but I don't know how that works with government officials. I have electricians, plumbers, the LBJ Job Corps will build the block building, Old Castle will provide the block and the mortar and the rebar,
So you still think that 285 or 260 is still a realistic?
Well, we were talking to a construction company that said they could start in March, and they estimated it'd be $260,000 to $280,000. A concrete skate park is approximately $50 a square foot, and ours is going to be 6,000 square foot. So, and what the town is going to do is they're going to get letters of inquiry and qualifications from approximately 5 different skate park companies and find the best and the most qualified, and then we'll work it from there. As you know, price of diesel and supplies fluctuates. So,
Concrete.
Yeah, concrete. So
If you can get it.
When Amy gets those proposals back, she'll give them to you?
well, I'm pretty sure it has to do with them. We're just
Make sure we get those.
You would like them also? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Sure.
Because this year we're building, I think we budgeted a pickleball court.
Well, we've actually, the rec director and myself have actually met with the town a few times and potentially could be looking at combining something. But that is, of course, got to go there's a lot of discussion still left to be had there, and right now it's simply a concept. But looking anyway for possible partnerships with the town, like we've mentioned on this board, and when you bring in a nonprofit like Skate 28 that's done such a great job in fundraising, phenomenal job, it's an excellent opportunity here, and we're trying to look at something, and hopefully we'll have something to bring for the board to consider at the next meeting.
Would it be appropriate to maybe form a committee and involve Skate 28, the town of Franklin, maybe a member of this board?
That's an excellent idea,
just
sure.
keep everybody on the same page. That way I feel like there's no disconnect.
I
Yeah,
think the town and the county is going to be meeting together real soon. The mayor is setting that up.
We have met one time already and kind of discussed some things, but we would certainly, I think Commissioner Young, I think that's a great idea to involve all parties. That way we're sure all horses are pulling in the same direction.
I feel a lot of support from all groups, so it'd be nice to have everybody together for sure.
So we'll hope to have a little bit better of an update to give this board at the next meeting.
Our goal is to get grants and raise as much private donations as we can to make the burden easier on the taxpayer, so if we could work together, that would work also.
Have you got your application in the Dogwood Trust?
Yes, we were already talking about that. That's why I said that Mike Passant was going to talk to the board about maybe getting a matching grant, and if we could get one for a higher amount. We've already got a lot of that money already in place, numbers, so we could probably get pretty close to what we needed that way. So if you guys know anybody over there, we can push.
Stay on top of that there.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you, guys.
Good work.
Thanks, Tim.
Anyone else would like to address the board? All right. Additions to the agenda? Changes, adjustments?
Mr. Chairman, if we could, old business, remove item number 10B.
Okay. Mike, I think we had a couple additions.
Yes, sir. Actually, one addition. Mr. Allen is here. I had failed to add to the agenda. Joe is recommending the release of a portion of the performance guarantee in conjunction with Gemstone Village subdivision. If we could add that under new business, please.
Okay, 11D, please.
And if the board would please, let's table the minutes from the June 14th meeting. I still need to do a little bit more work on those, please.
Okay.
Chairman, I have a very short closed session.
Okay. Closed session. Anything else? We get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved, Mr. Chairman. Go second.
We got a motion by Commissioner Young, second by Commissioner Bill. All in favor? Aye. No reports or presentations. Old business discussion regarding Nantahala Library Community Center. Mr. Rowland.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You'll find in your agenda packet under 10A here, old business, the email we received on July 5th. This was following about 2 weeks of discussion with the architect that we had been in negotiations with. As you'll recall, the board approved at our June meeting a resolution exempting architectural services for this project because those services were going to be less than $50,000. We got into the contract negotiations, and the architect sent us a letter on July 5th. Due to circumstances beyond my control, I will not be able to help you with the project in Nantahala. Since then, we've reached out to 2 additional architects, and we're currently waiting to get something back from them. Now, there is a few ways we can go about doing this. We have already approved the resolution that has exempted these services for this project. When I get a number back from these other firms that are looking, I can shoot that number out to the board by email, not for discussion, and get a yes or no to move forward as we were originally planning to do with this architect. If I get a consensus of the board based on the number that would have to, of course, be less than $50,000, I can at that time enter into contract negotiations if the board is good with the number that is presented. So that is how I would prefer to proceed. Just keep everything moving. In the meantime, I realize that is a little bit, this seems snake bit, so to speak, kind of moving forward, but we will keep moving, and Jack has been, our project manager, has been in conversations with 2 architects already. So with that piece of bad news, also have a piece of good news. Was informed on July 1st by Representative Gillespie's office that Macon County has been approved in the state budget a $200,000 grant to Macon County for capital improvements or equipment at the Nantahala Library. This local appropriation is contingent upon the governor's signature and the governor allowing it to become law. So while we did take a little bit of a hit on the architect, great news. Reached out to Senator Gillespie, or to Representative Gillespie's office, and they were able to get us an appropriation in the budget of $200,000 at that
I believe it's
project.
signed, didn't it? Wasn't it signed today or yesterday?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, the governor signed the budget.
Yes, it was. So that's a piece of good news.
Where's the check?
I called, they said the check's in the mail.
And I'll bring you bottle back. Yeah.
So,
All right. So no
Excited about
action.
that.
Everybody good with county manager's plan?
I'm good with making a motion to allow him to go ahead and enter into an agreement, as long as he's under the limit. You're not going to get an architect to drive to Nantahala, North Carolina, and design 2 facilities for $25,000. Not in this economy. They get that to design. They're busy.
yeah, we're having trouble finding them. I mean, it's amazing.
You're not going to lowball one. I mean, to me, I don't think we need much of a design, but that's the process we have to go through. So I'm willing to make a motion to allow you to enter into a contract as long as you're under the limit, and we need to get this baby moving.
But you're going to give us options, right? If you get...
Yeah, I'll get the number back. I'll get the number back and just get an up or down.
Yeah.
And timeline too, that's another thing. The architect, one of the architects, Novus Architecture, that we've been speaking with, we know they can do it, but they can't start till September. But the architect that we've been speaking with is out of town this week. He's gonna get back with us when he returns and let us know if he can get on it in August. So we've still got, we are in active negotiations and look forward to having something real soon. I know we're eager to get this project off the ground.
Does Jack think there's anything to that building that we could be doing that would not require architectural services, clean up?
Burn it.
We have,
You've lost on this one.
we've done some cleanup. Of course, the parking lot's been paved. And at this point, we're ready for that architect to come. The building's been cleaned out, so they've got a blank slate to work from over there. And we'll be ready, all hands on deck, to assist that architect however we need to.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Manager. All right, moving on, item 11A, resolution appointing plat review officers. Next administrator.
We had Joe, I think. Joe Allen.
He's 11D.
Hello, everyone. I am here tonight to let everybody know we need to update our resolution for plat review officer. Our current one has some employees that have left or have retired, and we have a new employee that needs to be under the resolution. And these resolutions have to be recorded in the Register of Deeds office under that person's name, and those have not been done yet. So we need to do that as well. And I gave that to, I put a copy of the resolution in the packet to be signed. Is there any questions about the resolution?
Can we get a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
Got a motion by Commissioner Young, second by Commissioner Shields. All in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Abby.
All right, stream flow rehabilitation program, budget amendment number 9. Doug Johnson, welcome, Doug.
Thank you. Good evening. Lori asked me to be here just in case you guys had any questions about this amendment. Just a little bit of background. The legislature appropriated money recently in the wake of some of the flooding down east and some of the flooding, of course, that happened in Haywood County and around for Stream Flow Rehabilitation Assistance Program. It's an acronym for, STRAP is the acronym. We have an acronym for everything. I can't remember most of them, but it is basically it's money allocated to counties to remove woody debris from streams in order to hopefully facilitate, alleviate any future flooding. So that's Macon County. This money was allocated to the Division of Soil and Water Conservation and the Soil and Water Conservation Commission, and they then solicited applications from local districts, and we, Macon County, applied and received something a little over $282,000 for this. That we run through. We'll be managing it, and we're working through all the particulars right now. But any questions you guys may have on that?
I mean, do you store this money and wait for future, weather occurrences, or do you go ahead and spend
it? That's a good question. It's actually to alleviate. They want to do it proactively. They want the debris out so that it doesn't back up and cause future flooding. They're wanting to open up the channels on some of the streams and rivers in the state. So we've identified some sites, and it's what they asked us to do was basically to identify reaches. So on the major streams in the county. So we have identified reaches on the Little Tennessee and on Cartiga J. And on Colasaja, that's where this first round of will go. Yeah. So that's
All right, can we get a motion to approve
Mr.
budget
Chairman,
amendment number 9?
Liaison to Doug and his group. I'll make a motion that we approve that, and we appreciate Doug Johnson and his whole staff. As you know, they continue to bring grants and money in to help with stream restoration, so we appreciate it.
We've got a motion by Commissioner Bill, second by Commissioner Shields. All in favor? Thank you, Doug.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you, Doug.
Selection of voting delegate for the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners at the annual conference in August and the NCACC Legislative Goals Conference in November.
I will be attending both, Mr. Chairman, so
Just going to say, you have the most,
with me voting,
unless somebody else is going to be there, I think Commissioner Bill has the most experience, seeing as he was past president.
and we hope.
Go ahead.
I make a motion, Mr. Bill, carry on those duties.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Shields, second by Commissioner Bill. Any further discussion?
Just one thing, I think Commissioner Higdon's working on we hope to have a really good, we've been working on it, a legislative goal when we do meet concerning septic tank, and Commissioner Higdon's been working on that. We hope to be able to submit that. We have until September, I think the 15th, to get that in, and
That'd be a great organization to push.
yeah.
So I'm sure we're not the only county.
And we know,
Suffering, so
we
that'll be
talked
a good
about
one.
it in Watauga County last weekend, and it looks like every county's facing the same thing we are, Paul. So they're looking forward to that from Macon County.
You need that in your hand by August.
I'll give you a date.
It's a big hole, I tell you that.
Yeah, but they know that too.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. Joe? The release of a portion of performance guarantee.
Yeah. Got a lot of numbers to go through. I'll try to make it as sensible as I can. But on January 11th, 2022, Snowbar LLC, in conjunction with Gemstone Villages, entered into two bond agreements with Macon County. One for Phase 3, Section 1, in the amount of $189,185, and one for Phase 1, in the amount of $617,119. I think you guys may have a copy of a letter from their engineer, Mr. Stillwell, who states that, and I agree with him, after revision inside, that 90% of the utilities in Phase 3, Section 1 have been completed, and all of the utilities in Phase 1 have been completed. He estimates the cost of the utility infrastructure that's in the ground to be at $390,000. If we add the 125%, which our ordinance requires us to keep, that will push that number to $487,500. which they were requesting back, and I'm assuming in 2 checks. $114,383 from the bond that we're holding on Phase 3, Section 1, and $373,117 on the bond that we're holding for Phase 1. The remaining money in those sureties will be held until the roads are completed.
That's your recommendation?
That's my
All
recommendation.
right, we'll get a motion to approve the release. Phase 1 and Phase 3. Motion by Commissioner Higdon. Second by Commissioner Young. All in favor? Aye. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
All right, consent agenda. Mike's asked that we remove the June 14th minutes from consideration. Any other changes? If not, we'll take a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Got a motion by Commissioner Higdon. Second by Commissioner Shields. All in favor? Aye. There's no appointments to my knowledge. We do have reason for closed session, Mr. Attorney. And then will there be any action following that closed session? There will be action following? No action. And then when we come out, we're going to immediately recess. No action. We're going to come out and we're going to recess to Tuesday, July 26th at 6 p.m. to the Fine Arts Center on the campus of Franklin High School for the purpose of holding a joint meeting with the Macon County Board of Education. Can we get a motion to go into closed session?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Bill. Second by Commissioner Shields. All in favor? Aye. Thank you, everyone. Be safe. Head home. Hang out a little bit longer if you want to.
A few minutes later.
Motion to recess, Mr. Chairman.
Got a motion to recess from Commissioner Higdon. Second by Commissioner Young. This will be Tuesday, July 26th at 6 p.m. at the Fine Arts Center on the campus of Franklin High School for the purpose of holding a joint meeting with the Macon County Board of Education. All in favor? Aye.